Welcome to my engineering lab. My name is Mrs. Sebastian right here. See Mrs. Sebastian? I'm so excited. We have a really great STEM challenge for you. And let's get started. We are going to be using the engineering design process right up there. There are 5 parts of the engineering design process. I'm going to show you right here. Are you ready? First of all, you'll notice that it's circular. It's circular. We have the goal is in the middle, but it's a circular process. So we have ask, and I'll explain that one. And we have improve. This is the same process that the engineers go through in real life. We have create, we have plan, and we have imagine. Now, which order do these go in? I will tell you. The first thing is this. We're going to be asking, what's the question? What's the problem? What are the constraints? So your goal today is to construct a tower or a structure that can withstand the weight of a book using, here's this book that we're going to use, the weight of a book using a limited amount of material. So again, I'm going to stand up and I'm going to take you with me right over here. I'm going to put this right here on, there I am, hello, on number 1. This is the first thing. We're asking the question. We're saying, what is your goal? Your goal is to build a tower out of toothpicks and gumdrops. And you only have a limited amount of gumdrops and toothpicks. You'll be allowed to use 20 toothpicks and 10 gumdrops. Those will be your constraints. The next thing we're going to do right here is we're going to imagine what it's going to look like. We're going to imagine. We're going to talk about, we're going to imagine, we're going to brainstorm. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about what we can do. So I'm going to stand up right here. Here I go. I'm going to stand up and I'm going to put it on number 2. So the next thing, you see how the arrow, look at the arrows going from ask, what's the problem, to imagine. So we are going to brainstorm what it's going to look like. So here we have some toothpicks. I have lots of toothpicks that we can practice with. And I also have some gumdrops. So here are toothpicks and gumdrops that I'm going to show you from a different angle. What shape do you think is most important? What shape? Can you guess what shape is probably the strongest shape when building a structure? Is it a square? Is it a rectangle? Is it a triangle? Is it a diamond? You guessed it, it's a triangle. And I'm going to give you another little hint that you probably want to build something with a larger base. Any structure or foundation that has a fairly large base will probably support the tower with more, it will have a better structural integrity. Okay, so those are the 2 big ideas. The next thing we're going to do is we are going to then talk about, so we're going to imagine what it's going to look like. And now at this point, we're going to plan it out. So we're going to plan it out. We're going to draw it. We're going to make our materials list, which I've already given you a little hint on. So here we go. I'm going to go put it up on my engineering design process. So go ahead and pause. And I would like for you to draw out a plan. So that would be 20 toothpicks. Now you don't get as many toothpicks as you want because when you're an engineer one day, they're not going to say, your boss is not going to say, you can use as much materials as you like and they could cost as much as you want. Because what if you were to use the most expensive material on a building that you could have used something that was more economical? So we're using toothpicks. And we're using gumdrops. Now the toothpicks in the gumdrops, right here, we could stick the toothpick in the gumdrop like so. And we're going to use, these are going to be the trusses and the joints. This right here is the gumdrop is going to act as a joint. And these right here will be trusses. I'm going to put together a triangle. And this will help you think about how you want to draw your plan as to how you want to build it. In fact, what I'd like to do is we're going to put together a few little ideas. Why don't we put together some gumdrop houses to start out with? You want to do that? Let's do that. Let's put together some gumdrop houses. Now, I'm going to show you from a different angle. So here we go. So let's do a little gumdrop house. Now, in your box, you received something like this. This is good practice for when we do the whole, when we're going to be doing all of the, when you're actually going to do the competition. I'm going to switch it around like so. That would be a little bit better. There we go. So we're going to make a prediction. We're using 10 gumdrops. And we're using 20 toothpicks to make a house-like structure that can hold the weight of a heavy book. We're going to build a gumdrop house using the following shapes. We're going to record the house's height and width in the measurement column. Then we're going to describe what happens to the house after testing. Okay, so go ahead and read that along. Read that. And now here's the next thing. It says, I predict that the blank-shaped house will be able to hold the weight of a book. Which shape house? Do you think the square house? Do you think the triangle house, the diamond house, and one that you just came up with? Which one do you think? We're going to figure that out. And then there's 3 questions that you'll be answering after that. What shape made the weakest home? Which shape made the strongest home? And if you had more gumdrops and toothpicks, how would you make your house stronger? So I'm going to set this aside and let's go over some different ideas. So I'm going to start out with the triangle. Now with the triangle, let's see. I'm going to see if we can start out with maybe a diamond shape. Let's do the diamond shaped house first since I started with this. So here's a diamond shaped house. So go ahead and follow me with this. And you can, of course, pause or you can go ahead if you feel like you know how to do this. Okay, there's that. And I'm going to now stick these up on top. And this will be the start of our diamond-shaped house. I hope you're doing this along with me. If you need to pause, go ahead. And here we go. There's that. I'm going to put a joint on each end of the trusses right here. And so here I'm going to attach a truss from this gumdrop to that gumdrop. And then from this gumdrop to that gumdrop. I'm so glad to be doing this with all of you. This is so much fun. I'm looking forward to seeing what you're going to be able to construct on your own. These are some really great ideas. These are some, now we got it. Let's do a whole, I'm going to lift this up and I'm going to show you different angles. So from this point, we need to now add a truss going from this gumdrop to that gumdrop. So now I'm going to lift this up and I'm going to show you. I'm going to rotate it around. Take a look. Take a look. Look at this structure. See if you can copy this structure. Go ahead and copy this one. And that's going to be your diamond-shaped house. From this point, we now actually can put some height to it. We're going to then measure the height. It's right. Take a look at this. It's 3 inches in height. So who can build the tallest structure? That's going to be our last challenge. Who's going to be building the tallest structure that can withstand the weight of a book for the longest period of time? Maybe that's another. So here we go. So that's going to be our diamond-shaped house. Now I'm going to show you how to do the square. So the square, basically, we're going to put together a square. So this right here is going to be our square-shaped house. And here we go. There's a square. And now I'm going to put the joints on either side right here. And so here we go. Putting the joints on either, all these parts. So go ahead and follow along. Now, you've already mentioned that the triangle is an incredibly strong structure for when building any kind of structure, building. So we're putting together a square. So you're going to see that with this square, well, let's do another one, that it perhaps won't, it might not hold as much, but we're going to see if we can rectify that. We're going to see if we can come up with something else. Okay. So here we go. Here's another toothpick. These toothpicks are nice and strong. So we're putting another square together. And then we're going to make, from this, we're going to make a cube because we want to give the square some height. We want to make it three-dimensional. So here we go. So we're going to make it three-dimensional. I'm going to set it right on top, or now I'm going to put it off, but we're going to now put here we go. We're going to put some other trusses on here onto the top. And there we go. Now we're going to place this on top, and what we have now is a square of a cube. We have lots of squares, but this is now a cube. Now I can already feel that this right here, if I apply a little bit of pressure on this, it probably will collapse. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to now try to figure out a way. I would probably want to figure out a way to make it so that we would have more triangles in there. All right, so that's going to be our cube house. So we have a cube house, we have our diamond house, and now I'm thinking that we're going to put together let's put together a structure with a larger base, a pentagon, okay? So I'm going to walk you through this. So please follow me through this structure. So here we go. First, I'm going to get the shape of a pentagon. I'm going to put together the shape of a pentagon. Here we are. And 1, 2, 3. How many sides does a pentagon have? What do you think? It has 5 sides. And I'm going to use these gumdrops. Oops. Ooh. And here we go. We're going to set the trusses right along here. So go ahead and follow along with me. And now we're going to stick one in here, stick one in there, and we're going to end up with a pentagon. And I'm going to show you once I'm done, we're going to insert the trusses right here. And there we go. Now we're going to build another pentagon because we want to make it three-dimensional. So I'm going to set this over here, and I'm going to get 5 more trusses, and I'm going to do the same thing. So I'm going to set up 5 more trusses. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And now I'm going to place the gumdrops right along where the joints are. So here we go. I'm going to put it right along where this joint is, where that joint, this joint, and we're going to secure them. Okay. So go ahead and continue to do this. And I'm going to show you, this one's a little bit trickier to put together. So once I complete putting all these trusses on, I'm going to show you, since we know that triangles are so important for the structural integrity of the structure so it doesn't collapse, we're going to now place this over like that. Take a look at that. We want to make this three-dimensional. I'm going to lift it up, and now I'm actually going to put 2 toothpicks going out like so, because we want to make this into where there's many triangles. So I'm putting 2 toothpicks out towards, there we go. I'm putting 2 more toothpicks angling out, and I'll lift it up to show you from another angle. And 2 more. And now 2 more here. Okay, so I'm gonna lift it up. Take a look. You see that? Those trusses. But here's the trick, is now I'm gonna place this right on top, like so, and then I'm gonna actually put both toothpicks into one truss. Every single truss is gonna have 2 toothpicks, and it's gonna actually be pretty strong. Okay, here we go. And I'll lift it up to show you from another angle. And I'm inserting these trusses into the gumballs. Okay. Oh, look at that. One broke. So I'm going to replace the one that broke. Okay. So I'm going to lift this up. Take a look. There are lots of triangles right there. We just made a pentagon, a house that has a pentagon foundation. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I'm now going to stop the share. Here we are. We have a pentagon structure. We have a cube house. We have a diamond house. You have these 3 structures, and one that's kind of made out of has squares in it. You have another one that has triangles in it. You have another one that or diamonds. This has diamonds in it with triangles. And this actually has a lot of triangle. Let's call this the triangle one. So we're going to measure all of these in height, and then you're going to test which ones are able to withstand the weight of a book. I'm going to show you up here. Here we go. This one I'm going to say is going to be the triangle one, because there are lots and lots of triangles in this one. So I'm going to call this the pentagon/triangle. And I'm going to take the book. I've measured it. It's 3 inches. So you need to record that. And then I'm going to place the book on top. Are you ready? Let's move Sebastian over. Okay, scoot over. Oh. That can hold the weight of the book. Does yours hold the weight of the book? Okay, so that's pretty good. Now that's a pretty good start. Let's see how the cube one does. Okay, here goes. Here's the cube. And I'm gonna put the book, let me angle it so you can see it just right. There's the cube. Okay, is it holding it? Is it holding it? Oh, it is. It is holding it, but it's definitely faltering a little bit. It's definitely faltering. So we've now learned. Okay, so that one did collapse. Mine did collapse. Did yours? Look at that. It definitely collapsed. Now they're actually diamonds. Okay, this one is this is diamond shaped, and it has lots of great triangles. I'm going to set it like so. And that one also collapsed. So that wouldn't be the greatest one to use either, I would say. The one that has a lot of triangles along the perimeter would probably be the best foundation. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So which shape do you think was the weakest home? Which one do you think? Okay, write it on your sheet of paper. Which shape was the strongest? I would say that one. So how many, and if you had any more gumdrops and toothpicks, how would you make your home stronger? How would you have made your home stronger? Let's say add a few more triangles and trusses. Okay, so here's the challenge. Are you ready for this? You have 20 toothpicks and 10 gumdrops. And I want you to get those ready. And you have a time limit. This is the time limit of 10 minutes to build a structure that can withstand the weight of a book for at least, I would say, for at least 5 minutes, for at least 3 minutes to 3 minutes. Okay, so you have your drawing. You've paused and you've done your drawing. this is where we're going to make it. This is where we're going to try it out. We're going to try it out. This is the fourth part of the engineering design process. We're going to try it out. We've asked the question. We've brainstormed a little bit. We've done little practice runs. We've thought about a solution. And now you know what the materials are. You've drawn it out. And now we're going to make it. We're going to try it out. We're going to build it. We're going to create it. We're going to construct it. And we're going to try it out. Okay. So you're going to have 10 minutes to build your structure. And I'm looking forward. I would love to see what it looks like at the end. So I would like for you to pause and do 10 minutes. I feel like many of you have already done it. Okay, so many of you have done it. You've now turned it back on, and I'm excited to see what kind of structures you've done. Okay, so you've only had a limited amount of materials. What do you think yours would have looked like had you had more materials? Okay, so I was thinking that mine would look like this. I'm going to show you what it's going to look like. I'm going to do another share screen. Okay, here we go. So in this case, the perimeter, I was thinking of building 2 of these to build a good solid structure. So I was going to stack these up like so. So here I go. I'm going to stack them up. I'm so excited to see how yours turned out. This is what mine would be. Okay, here we go. Oh gosh. It's a little precarious, but this is fun. Okay, one of these needs to have. Now this is if we had an unlimited amount of supplies. And in our case, we are starting out with, you have 20 toothpicks and 10 gumdrops. But this is if we had more supplies. Because how many are here? We're going to do this one. Okay, take a look at this structure. Take a look at that structure. I'm going to now measure the height. We're at a height of 7 inches. 7 inches right there. So I'm going to record that. And I could very well even add some more parts to it to make it even taller. Okay, so that could be also an option. Okay, but in this case, let's see. We can use a gumdrop to basically hold it up like that. We can use another one. So now this is where you have an unlimited supply or more toothpicks. All right, so I'm going to put mine up here, and let's see if mine can withstand the weight of a book. Okay. So here we are. Here's mine right here. Can it withstand the weight of a book? Here we go. Okay. Oh, nope, mine's, oh. Now here's the thing, it has to be freestanding. So mine couldn't, I was having to hold the book. So mine was not able to withstand the weight of book, and that's okay. That's okay. What could have I done? What could I have done to make it better? That is what the next step or the next part of the engineering design process is. How could I have improved upon it? How could I have made it better? So I'm going to put it right here. This is an important part of the process because I'm going to go back and ask, well, I'm going to go to my boss and say, look, it's not enough. I don't have enough of the gumdrops. I don't have enough joints. I'm going to need a larger budget. I don't have enough toothpicks in order to build a proper structure. So that's where I'm going to then ask the question. I'm going to be asking, what's the problem now? What are my constraints? I've had so much fun with all of you. I hope to see you on the next video, and I really have a great day. Thanks, guys. Bye, engineers.